Y'all ready for this?
Joke.
Alright, here we go. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
So good.
Welcome back to the Wine About Birth podcast. We are 3 birth professionals.
And best friends.
And we're here to talk about what it's really like to live in the world of birth.
It's not all glitter and rainbows.
Or as we like to say, it's a lot more shit than giggles. I'm Kim Haynes, midwife at a busy birth center and busy home birth practice.
I'm Meredith, also midwife with the same busy home birth practice.
And I'm Jess McKee. I'm a doula for clients in and out of the hospital and also a birth assistant with you guys at our awesome out-of-hospital practice. Why are you guys laughing?
I'm sorry. So when you looked at me, I think you just meant to look at me lovingly, but I thought I had done something wrong. So I was like, what did I say wrong in the intro again?
That happens with my kids too. When I look at them, they're like, what now? How else have we failed you?
Also, every time I close my eyes right now, I could just see the circle light, and it's really bad.
Yeah, we're working on it. We have the light up.
When people use these for like Instagram, is that all they see when they close their eyes? The circle lights?
When I did my course it took almost 5 hours of Layla and I. That thing was a foot away from my face, and I literally was blind by the end of it.
And I can sometimes see the reflection of it in people's glasses.
Yeah.
Haley,
or their eyes.
Haley just posted a video of it, and she was wearing glasses the other day, and I was like, circles, circles.
Just now when I closed my eyes, it looked like a dick. I had there was 2 that were balls, and a couple that were
You
shafts.
said that it looked like a dick? That's weird. Do you know the original, when we were doing our intro forever ago, the so good was not part of it. So when you did that this time, I was like, when did we start doing that?
I don't know. Usually I'm being sarcastic when I say it too.
I know.
But I'm not being sarcastic today.
I'm so excited. Today is the day.
Today is the day.
The day has arrived. We're going to talk about our transitions
episode we've been alluding to for months now.
It's going to be such a letdown now.
I know. We built it up too much.
That's all right. Speaking of transitions, no, that's not what I want to say. Hey, remember when I came to your house earlier today?
Yes. So,
we haven't done that in a while.
Rewind. Oh, I remember what I was gonna say.
So I had so much to do today. I went and saw our client in Winchester. And
yeah, you were crushing it this morning.
I was crushing it because we have a transition coming up, which we'll talk about.
Yes.
But I did all of these things, and I walked into the house, and I was like, Chuck, I did so much this morning. Guess what I did today? And he was like, okay, well, I did a lot of things today. Guess what I did? And I'm like, okay.
So you laundry listed all the things you had accomplished.
Because Chuck and
I
I
like,
always...
Did you do that today?
Did you start a new business? Did you do this?
Did you include
did you
me
do
in my robe in the snow?
And then
one of those things.
He goes, I went outside and I got the snow and ice off of the camper so that it wouldn't be broken forever. Did you do that?
I was like,
God.
no. So we always are in a competition, even when we're not trying to be. So
I was like, guys, you know what would be really fun? It would be really fun if Kim had a dick, see she could pull it out of her pants and you guys could like
we could
hit
fight
them
with
together like swords. That
So
would
then
be
I
fun.
told him
You
that
really just wanted to see Chuck's penis, let's be honest.
one day it could happen.
Yeah.
You just have to walk in on him when he's peeing or something.
Well, then I got back at him because he goes, well, her dick would be smaller than mine if she had one. And then I go, and then you go, yeah, I'm a tiny person. And I go, sometimes the tiniest people have the biggest packages.
Yeah, they're growers, not showers.
He ignored you and walked away.
I know.
But then I had the idea of turning my giant vagina inside out, and then I feel like I may have a bigger penis.
It would be like a tube sock.
It'd
floating
be
around.
very fat.
It wouldn't be very
Might not
stiff.
be long, but it'd be very fat.
Floppy. Like one of those tubey cervixes when the head is...
That's exactly what I was thinking
Yes,
of.
'cause the head's
floppy
not-
cervix.
It's like being smacked with a wet towel. You could just like snap him with it.
Flap, flap.
That would definitely win the fight. I feel like this one
This has gone on entirely too
It
long.
really has.
Hey, let's
I
talk
know, but
about
I really like
transitions.
it.
I feel like we do need to clarify. No one in this group is going through a transition. I just want to acknowledge. I feel like that word, like in terms of like surgery, I feel like we've been using that word a lot, and I just want to acknowledge
are.
that.
We're
What
We
are
are
you
going
through
through
transitions.
transitions. So I feel like that word is like really big right now.
It is
In
big.
the LGBTQA community, I just want to acknowledge that's not our story.
Oh,
that way.
You mean we're not transitioning in the gender way?
Yes.
No, we are not.
But I just want to clarify because I feel like that's like a lot of conversations happening
did
right
talk
now.
about
So
Kim
I just
growing
need to
a penis.
acknowledge
I mean,
that.
I did.
Considering we
I did.
introed with what we introed with.
I did talk about growing a penis.
Might make people question.
Kim's not actually growing a penis.
No, but I don't know who it was that we had this conversation the other day on how much fun it would be to have a penis for a day. Oh, it was Caroline. And she goes, oh, I'd 100% helicopter that bad boy for at least an hour straight. I'm like, I can think of some other things.
Workout.
I would love to have a penis for a day.
Just for a day.
I think you get really obnoxious really fast.
I feel like there's a song about this in like Frozen or something. Just
Probably.
for a day.
I don't know.
I don't think there is. As a connoisseur of Frozen, I would say no.
Let it grow, right?
So, none of us are transitioning sexually or
You said sexually and Chuck walked in.
genderly, but we are transitioning
It's
in
sweaty.
a lot of other ways.
Yes,
and so we wanted to talk about transitions because we know a lot of people out there are going through a lot of transitions of their own. And we also realize that while transitions can be really fun and awesome and exciting,
They're also terrifying.
they also can be super terrifying and overwhelming.
Yeah,
And
I don't think
Just like real
transition.
transition in labor.
I don't think transition is fun at all. I think it's
Yeah.
terrifying. It's like I feel like I'm hanging
I think if you can
in
like,
in between.
I feel like if you can grasp the light at the end of the tunnel, right? If you can like hold on to like what you're going for in it, you can get through it. But
You
yeah,
can try
and it's not
to.
great.
But it's the same as transition in labor. Like, transition in labor is good because you know you're almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sucks. And you
It
have to
does
get
suck.
through 1 minute at a time. And sometimes it's easy to lose sight of the fact that you're almost done and that there's like a light at the end of the tunnel. And so there's like a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah. It's like really overwhelming and it stirs up like all your deepest, darkest fears.
And how
and
often do
doubts.
I call you guys and just like, I just can't do it?
I can't. And we're like, no,
You're
it's
just in
okay.
Transition.
I know.
According to your mom, you only got a couple contractions.
Listen, Liz, stop it. Stop telling people it's only 5 contractions. 10.
My mom does not listen to this podcast.
No.
Thank the Lord.
Thank you, dear
I don't even
Jeebus.
think you did. You do
Thank you,
that?
Jeebus. Yes,
I
she
don't know.
forgot
I don't
people
know if I
could
did
see
it
us.
right. No, I did that on purpose.
So to me, transitions are like, they're so hard, but they're luckily so short. If you look at your lifespan,
Yeah.
the transitions are the hardest, shortest part of your life.
They don't
because,
feel like it in the moment. But
yeah, because you're
back-
just
looking
terrified
back.
of like, am I going to fail? Am I going to succeed? But my papa sent me this comic once, and it was somebody, it was like little, I forget which of the cartoons it was, but they were going across the monkey bars, and they were like, in order to grab the next one, you have to be brave enough to let go of the one behind you. And
Oh,
so
there's the Frozen song about that.
yes, there is. It's called Let It Grow. I'm telling you. So it's like I've had that in my
She just
head
said, "Let it
for.
grow."
Yeah, that's the
That
second
was
time
the
she
song.
said that.
Yes,
Let it go.
I know. Damn it.
She's being
I know.
sarcastic.
Oh.
I'm being annoying.
God.
Jeez.
You're both being annoying.
We're really good at that. So yeah, like I just think transitions in life, transitions in labor they're the hardest, but luckily the shortest part of your life. And if you're in a 10-year life transition, you should probably let go of whatever you're on. Just a
Amen to
thought.
that.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Because it is true, too, in labor that the longer you fight the transition, then we see people all the time. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
they get to that, it's like a rock and a hard place where it's like, I can let go and just let transition take over, and it's really scary, or I can keep, like, tensing up and fighting it and doing the thing, and at some point they're like, I don't want to do this, but I don't want to be pregnant anymore, so I'm going to have to choose one.
Yeah, and that's when the light switch that
Yes.
I love. It's my favorite part of labor. It just flips,
Yeah.
and they just go completely
And that primal.
But until then, they do that stallion gallop, you
Yes,
know, when their
yes.
butts look so good, and they're on their like they're wearing high heels, and they're like
Yes.
galloping
Moving
back
their
and
hips back
forth.
But the thing about transition too is that it's also the parts of our life when we learn and grow the
Oh my
most.
gosh.
Yes.
For
Because-
better or for worse.
Yeah, because I mean, even transition in labor, like it's super hard. But it has to be hard because all of those hormones you're releasing are actually changing your brain
So much.
and your body and getting you ready to be a mom, and like, so you're in between two worlds, the world of before you had this baby and the world of after you had this baby. And so yeah, it all has a purpose.
Yeah.
And so growing and learning is not always fun.
It is not.
And I want to say too, I know for me, like that's when I need my community the most in my life is like when I'm going through big transitions, and not even necessarily like tell me what to do or to like help me figure out what to do next, but even just to hold space for like what's happening so that I can figure my shit out.
And I think it's also interesting about transitions that we need our community the most, but it's also the time when our community gets stressed the most because we're not always at our best when we're in transition.
That's true.
And then sometimes, and I know this is true for me, what I'm going through, you're like, God, I'm being so horrific now. How could they even possibly deal with me for another second?
I don't have the capacity to like do anything different right now.
Yeah, and so it's like you're also worried that you're not being enough for your community, and it's just.
But that's when we embrace you, and then you'll embrace us.
We call you out on your bullshit, and then we embrace
yes.
you.
I like being called. I sometimes like being
But
called.
we
out
are
on my
lucky.
bullshit.
We have each other.
No,
Yeah.
You know.
I'm super lucky.
I mean, I called Meredith this morning.
Definitely did. I was asleep.
I was aware.
It was at a reasonable hour. I was
Listen,
just still
I
sleeping.
knew you were going to be sleeping, but I called you anyway out of a selfish, I'm in transition phone call. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love you.
No problem.
I did not call
I
Jess
wasn't convinced
because she was still asleep.
I wasn't
for sure.
convinced that anything I said was helpful, but I was also like, she just needs to talk right
No,
now.
you
It's
reverberated
fine.
everything that I had already said to myself,
Yeah.
and then you said it, and I was like, okay.
It is much easier to hear from other people
Yes,
sometimes.
yes.
So, like we have alluded to for the past like 40 episodes, all three of us are going through transitions in our lives. And it's been interesting trying to create space for each other while we're all transitioning in different ways.
And it's pretty nice that we're all three going through just completely separate things at the same time.
And we're also trying to run our own businesses, run our business together, keep our podcast going, like
be friends
Yes.
outside of
be
work.
friends.
And we all process
Completely different.
so differently.
So differently.
Like, I'm 100% panic.
Oh yeah. Manic panic.
Manic panic.
That's a good one.
You,
Just disappear and cry.
but
for
you
a while.
have to verbally process
Yeah.
every feather of a
Yes.
feeling that goes through your
I
body,
do.
like until you over processed it like lunch meat,
Yes.
and then there's nothing left.
I make olive loaf with my feelings.
And then you
Suppress the shit
completely
out of it.
suppress, hermit, and then you freak out and
And
go
then-
out and
Yes.
ah!
Try to act like everything's fine and wonderful, and you
Oh,
can't.
you're bouncing
Why-
between us.
why should
And then
you
you
possibly
go,
show
and then you
any
go on a
emotion?
trip and then don't come back and they're like,
Yes.
okay, she's there.
She just
She's there.
disappears.
Yes.
You just completely disconnect. But you're learning not to do that.
Yes, I'm trying to work on that. And so yeah, part of mine is like part of my programming from my entire life has been that it's not okay to be the person who freaks out. I was always the person who didn't freak out.
Yeah.
And so it's like trying to keep this like even keel through the hard parts.
Yeah.
And then
And now you're exploring
eventually
this different version just to see how it feels.
yeah,
see if it
but
fits.
it's really scary to me when I have to do that.
Yes.
When I'm like, I can't just walk around acting like everything's all easy breezy and I'm fine. Like, I'm fine.
I'm
It's
fine.
fine.
Your
Everything's
eye
fine.
is twitching. It's like Encanto.
You should have a beer.
Yeah.
Your
Fine.
eye, I can hear your eye twitching.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I sent that. I can't remember what it's called, but I think
The
it's
podcast?
the podcast, and it was called "Unfuck Yourself." And
Yes.
the quote that I really liked, because most women in general, like those of us who identify as being female, being mothers, being friends and sisters, like we don't do any of these things for ourselves, but we're
Yeah.
responsible for everyone. So the quote was, "It's okay for women to succeed as long as it happens by accident while you're supporting someone else." And I'm like,
Yep.
oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah.
Because I know what all my hopes and dreams are, but I can't possibly go for them until my family's
There's a
happy,
million other
until
things that you have to focus on
Yes.
in the
Right.
same time.
and I
yeah.
think most of women that I know, my friends, my sisters and family, like that's how they are as well.
Yeah.
But we're learning how not to be like
Trying
that.
to.
We're
I'm
on-
working
we're
on
That's
how
that.
part
to
of our
unfuck
transition.
ourselves.
Yeah.
I
mean,
keep
I
doing this thing
don't
because it's like, I always say, did I cut you off?
No, she said we're learning to unfuck ourselves.
Yeah.
And then all these things went through my head to say, but I let it go.
While also doing that to myself more lately.
Yes, that's
gonna
it.
say.
That was one of the things. Let's talk to Jess about
We've
fucking
been
yourself.
unfucking the worst parts and fucking the best parts.
But so part of my thing is, and we're gonna get into in a minute, like which I've alluded to it before, is that like I always try and hold it together, but I've noticed. So it's like I go out and I have a beer, and it used to be when I was just like la 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 la, alcohol like intensifies anything you're feeling.
Yeah.
And so I'll go out to have a beer and I'll have like 2 beers and all of a sudden it's like these heavy feelings are there.
And then we get the phone call.
And every once in a while,
Panic. Why are you calling?
or even if I'm not panicking, sometimes I'll just like be an asshole to the person next to me at the bar.
Oh my god, that story you told me.
Yeah. So much fun. And I had so much fun in the moment.
Chuck
But
just
then-
showered behind that door and then came out fully clothed.
Wow, it's a damn shame.
So in that moment, after 2 beers, I'll be like, this is fun. Just taking out all my aggression on this person. And I guess it's not in an actually super asshole-y way. But then I wake
You
up.
can be a bit of an asshole sometimes.
Then
to
I wake up the
strangers.
next morning and I'm like, oh god, what if I was too much of an asshole? What if all the people that I like at the brewery thought I was being an asshole? So I swear, I go into the brewery probably like 6 times a month and I'll go to all the bartenders and be like, I'm so sorry if I was an asshole last night.
I'm pretty sure you can. I'm pretty sure you can do no wrong at the brewery.
But your
Jess.
asshole
that's not
is like not a lot.
Dismantling the patriarchy is your asshole, so I can hold space for that.
Yes.
That guy was a douche anyway.
Yeah,
But the
so
thing
I
was-
did apologize for that the other day, and one of the bartenders was like, what are you apologizing for? That guy was an asshole. You made our whole night. And I was like, relief.
But Jess is starting to do that thing that we do where that man was not bothering her. He was not bothering her.
We seek
He
out
was
the
just sitting there
confrontation.
being a stupid man, and
just
she was
being
like,
dumb.
cannot control myself. And I'm like, welcome to the club. I will
Wait
seek
till you
out
start
those
throwing
people.
punches.
No, but I did it in a
that
roundabout
once.
way. Like, I was being nice and engaging in conversation. But
Yeah,
I was
but you
like,
knew what you were setting him up for.
I'm just gonna prove
You
he's
knew
an
what was
idiot
coming.
every turn of the way. He's just gonna be, he's not gonna be able to win. And I know that I'm wittier than him, and so he has no chance.
So you picked on someone lesser than yourself.
I did.
That's how we all start, and eventually you'll work your way up. Like,
Yeah.
what's his name that shot the slingshot into the big Goliath? What's the other ones? David and Goliath.
Are you talking biblically?
Yeah.
I was like, you were asking the wrong person.
David
You know what
and
I won't
Goliath.
do? You know what I won't do? Bring home 100 Philistine foreskins. I leave those things firmly attached to their body.
You don't want to wear
Not
them
only
as
do
a
you leave them
necklace.
attached, you advocate really strongly for all of them.
Yes, I do.
I wanted to tell everyone what Brock can do with his foreskin, but I feel like then
That's his story to tell.
that's
him.
his story, and people will look back on it. I just want to say, who knew
I know.
that it could do so many things?
So many things.
Dude, it was so elastic.
So I think it's actually time to dive in.
Like a muff.
So whose transition should go first? I
I
think
feel like you already dove into yours a little bit.
So should I start with mine?
I mean, mine is the least exciting. So if you want to go from least exciting
All
to
right.
to a build up,
Let's start with Kim.
I can start because if
I'm
you
so excited for you. Are you
so
kidding?
excited.
You're like the most grounded person in this trio right now in terms
Which
of your life transitions.
is a
Is she?
problem.
Minus the manic.
No.
I mean, in terms of I don't mean the manic panic is really rough, but in terms of the amount of shit she's been accomplishing and continues to accomplish is
Oh, very
Shocking.
impressive.
So my kids, the youngest one will be 8 in March. So it's like my entire fog has lifted and I'm no longer just in survival mode.
25 years later.
26 years later.
Well,
I thank you.
Sorry.
So
It'll be
she
27
feels
this year.
comfortable with survival mode. So now
Yes.
she's putting herself back into survival mode, but it's her own damn fault.
I'm doing it to myself. So I have all these hopes and dreams and all these things that I want to do. So I am leaving Premier Birth Center. Why do you look so happy about
That makes me
that?
so happy.
She said that in public.
I
I
know.
did.
I know we've been slowly telling people, but we're saying it in public.
Because I mean, listen, that place has been my home away from home for 6 years. I'm super comfortable there, and I love the clientele, and it's amazing. But it has grown exponentially. It's grown beyond what I want for myself. So I will be there. Because I have a really hard time.
She's gonna be there, whether she wants to be or not.
So, yes, starting in May, I am down to just doing one prenatal day a week. And then I'll be that, hey, could you help us out, fill-in person when people need a vacay? Which I will be completely unavailable until spring of the following year. But...
But also, so you're doing that.
So I'm doing that and walking from Premier and going to Linden Tree.
So for everyone who's freaked out because you love Kim and you want her to be at your birth, you
She's not leaving birth work.
I'm not leaving birth work.
She's not leaving birth work. She's just going into a practice that suits her needs more.
Yeah, so I want to go back to the, like, at Premiere, which, like I said, like, it's such a great part of the community, but we're down to, like, half-hour visits, and I attend births from women that I don't know, that I've literally never met, and which is awesome, because their birth is great, and then I know them, obviously, after that, but I like having all the time that we have, and then we have all these repeat moms. So yes, Linden Tree is where I will be making my little nest, my little bird nest.
But at the same time, that's been really scary, and you've had a lot of panic moments because
my money comes from Premiere.
Exactly.
And you've got
Meredith does it. Yeah.
And you've got really comfortable with that amount of money, whereas Meredith is nothing.
Yes.
Good when it comes
Meredith's
to money.
like, come over to this side. I was like, show me the money. And she's like, never mind.
I was like, oh, you gave me 3 years and I still haven't shown it to you. But you're coming over anyways.
So it's fine. So and then on top of moving to Linden Tree, there's just, there's like so much,
like, that's like the ice, like, there's so much more going on.
Yes, because we're looking for a new space so that we can offer more, like, prenatals and just have a bigger space to go. And I'm super excited about that, don't get me wrong, but I'm also equally excited because teaching, precepting is my passion more so than even birth. So I've recently started contracting with Midwifery Wisdom. The amazing Augustine Colebrook is the owner of that company, and then everyone that works under her is just like, they're so fucking amazing and awesome. Yeah. And she asked me if I wanted to do a course, which I did, and my first course launched. It was super successful.
It was amazing.
So, and that was all super cool. And I want to talk a little bit because that was also a transition. Because all transitions, you get weighed down mentally. And so even talking about the things you went through mentally, doing that, because you're like, I'm going to do a course. But then the amount of
work you put into
the amount of work you put into trying to write your course,
and in the time frame too, it happened fairly quickly. Like you accomplished a lot in a very short period of time,
while attending births, while taking care of your family, while doing the podcast. Like, and you drove yourself, and you're still doing it.
And us, a little insane.
Nuts.
You also had to like convince yourself that you could do it, right? So like, not just like logistically and all this stuff to work through. You also had to like be like, I know I'm a good teacher. I know I can do this. It's outside my comfort zone, but like this is my happy place, and I know I can do this. But like that's a journey too of like owning what you want to do with your life. Like there's a lot of fear and doubt in that.
I always doubt. I don't doubt like two things I don't ever doubt are my ability to teach, because I know I'm a good teacher. Like I love teaching, and I feel like anything that you love that much. I guess that's not true, but usually anything you love that much you're pretty good at. And then I love precepting. I just was afraid that I would write this course and no one would want it. So it's like I didn't want to step away from Premiere, my main source of income, the practice that I've just grown up with over the last 6 years.
You've also gotten like so many of your experience,
and skills with. Yes, all the experience and my skill, and I just owe that much to the center. But then, like, I don't want to walk away from that just to do something I love that isn't lucrative. So that was my big fear. And so
and even just the stress you went through when your course is about to come out, like, no one has signed up.
What if no one signs up? And then it went from no one to like more people than I thought. And then I was like, what if I can't? Oh my God, it's just constant. But I will say, for anybody out there,
she was that mom in transition that's in the tub just like flailing around, splashing water on the sides of the tub. That's
what I do. Just like in Key West, I was a wet, floppy, greased seal flopping around on the floor. But my course, God bless Layla and Becca, who are having to fix the course and make it one that you can just like order online.
Is that because we accidentally deleted it?
Well, Meredith yes.
Oh, it was me.
Jess accidentally deleted.
I'm saying we, so I'm not just throwing you under the bus completely.
I'm actually going to blame Google and Chromebooks. You suck.
Yeah, Google. Get your shit together.
It's a thing. But for anybody out there but I like my Chromebook, and I'm getting used to Google, so let's not make them upset because they can hear you, and this is what happens, and then it's going to shut down.
We were not hating on them at all when they fucked up.
I love
Google.
Very
I
love Google, and I'm like a Samsung Google person. But the Chromebooks really failed in this situation.
That's true, and I actually think it was the Wi-Fi at the place.
Well, I know, but if the upload didn't go through, your Chromebook should just be like, well, that video is safe, delete.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what it did.
That's what
Nobody told
That's
us
what
to
I do
delete
with
it.
parts of my life I don't like.
I know.
This is
Only.
making me uncomfortable. Tick, tick,
If
deleted.
only, or even like if it like took things away from us unwillingly, right? Like, oh, that's gone now. I guess I have to let that go, even though I don't want to. That's really nice to have one less thing to worry about.
And I did have one less thing to worry about.
But so Premiere is like your monkey bar you have to let go of so you can grab onto the new monkey bars,
Yeah,
but it's really
it's
scary.
such a struggle. So this course that I wrote, it's called Pathways to Midwifery, and it's for aspiring midwives. And I think starting in the next month, you can go to midwiferywisdom.com, and it's going to be added to the student classes that you can take, and it'll be available over the next 2 years. So anybody out there listening that wants to know where you should go to school, what route you need to take, things that you should do, things you should not to do, it's all the stuff that we used to not be able to find on the damn internet, and I put it all together with Layla's help, and it turned out really well. Yeah. So my problem is, instead of
I
just...
have to say, you always look really hot in
You
your
look so
Instagram
good.
lives. I know she doesn't do that for like our scenarios.
This is what I really look like.
But when she goes live for Augustine,
I go all out.
I turn on my phone and I'm like,
whoop! I put
And also,
makeup
that
on.
was like after a full day of prenatals too. Like I saw you right before you went on. I was like, "Damn, girl! Like what you're doing is working. It works all day."
It's all
we're all in
about
here
makeup.
looking like we don't have homes or showers right now.
I'm fine with that choice.
That's what we usually do.
Yeah.
You
So
did take a shower today.
I did take a shower.
I also showered today because I had to do prenatal this
I did
morning.
not.
You didn't.
No.
You showered.
She
for one
alternated.
prenatal?
Yeah. Listen, I think I'm in perimenopause.
I think you're too.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Speaking of another
transition.
transition, I think Kim is definitely going through perimenopause.
I think so.
That could be a whole other episode.
I'm
did-
very sweaty a lot.
I did put on deodorant today, so hey, I smell good, actually.
Yeah, because you were a man
You don't
deodorant. It lasts
have
forever.
body odor. Okay, let me finish my transitions
that's
because
true.
I'm so excited to hear your all's transitions.
I
Okay,
still-
so go to Midwifery Wisdom and take that course if you're interested. Also, I was asked to speak at the Midwifery Wisdom Retreat Conference in November, so I feel like, which I'm doing,
so excited for
I'm
that.
so excited. It's a 10-day retreat. Look it up. If you are a student and you need skills, I'll be teaching along with some other midwives the skills for 3 days, and then I'm going to be speaking. And I'm so stoked because I'm doing a super motivational talk about finding happiness in midwifery and thriving in chaos and all the things that I love to do. Mm-hmm. So that's like a hope and dream that I have that I'm transitioning into that is coming with a shit ton of stress because they're like, we need your video by now. And I'm like,
And that's the thing is that the startup, and it's the same with our practice, the startup is so much
intense.
all at once
Yeah.
while you're still trying to hold on to these other, like keeping all the balls in the air. But it's like once you get through that
juggle those balls.
tough part, then it'll be
You
easy
just
because
set
they'll be
yourself for
making
success.
money without you doing any work.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so instead of just celebrating that course, which is now coming out, I'm started on my other one. And my goal is 2.
Even
but
though
then
I told you to take a break and focus on
I
other
can't
things.
take a break. I've learned in the past 12 months that I'm a workaholic. I don't know why it took me to this point, but as my mom pointed out on Facebook, I used to be a disgusting hot mess with
You still are
I
sometimes.
still am, but no anything.
Motivation?
Well, no, like
I was going to say, as long as I've known you, you've been extremely motivated.
I've always been motivated, but I've always been very, like, chaotic. I still am. You know what? I'm still exactly the same person. I'm just actually
You're just
going for what
channeling
I
it
want.
into stuff that you really want.
She's trying to channel all of her stuff in a positive way, which
Yes.
also makes her panic because it's not who she actually is.
I'm just so afraid of failure, and I'm not.
And yet, when have you ever failed at something you wanted?
She actually wants to be running around getting drunk and like
Oh God, that'd be
showing her
the worst
boobs
version
around
of
people
Kim.
on the
Yes, that's what I
I
want.
don't want to deal with that man.
No, I do not
I
want
don't want to deal with that
to
man.
be running around showing my
barely
boobs to
handle
random people.
workaholic.
That would be
Mannequin.
terrible.
That was
But-
definitely an exaggeration.
It was, but I'm just like, I guess I've been so afraid of the transition of failing, like monetarily, and what if people don't like me? What if my course fails? And I'm just like, but I finally got the courage to like, and plus Chuck is sitting behind me like, do it, just do it, do it, just do it, do it, just do it. And I'm like, do you know what Meredith and Jess said? He's like, Jesus Christ, I have been saying that for 5 years. Why do you never listen to me? And I'm like,
Chucky's your biggest.
I know, and it like
He is a
it was
huge
his
cheerleader.
idea to start the stupid podcast.
Massive muscular cheerleader.
Anyway, I have one more thing I want to share, and then we're going to move on to more exciting things.
No.
And that
I wanna
is that
say something.
what?
No, keep going. Finish
You
your
go
thing.
first. You go
Okay, I am almost done my book. Actually, my book is done. I am about to start editing it, which makes me want to vomit.
I'm about to start editing.
And so, listen, if any of you out there know anything about publishing, and I know there's Google, and Nikki sent me a site, and everybody is like, oh, you should look here, but I don't know a goddamn thing,
You
and
need
I
someone
feel
to take
so...
you by the hand and just
Yes.
like walk
Yeah.
you through it. Like
There's no point in
like
reinventing the wheel. Find somebody
like
Yeah.
that's
a
on it.
publishing doula.
Yes, because I'm I don't know, and I'm not like, I don't have this goal to be a writer forever. I just have 2 books, and the one is almost done, and the second one is already started, because I can't just do one thing. So how do I get it out there? And
If
it
she
can't
just
be...
did one thing at a time, she wouldn't be able to be crazy and go manic, and then she would be uncomfortable.
I would be
with
so
that.
bored sitting in my feelings. So I like being this way. But like Kelly, who published that amazing children's book, and I'm super excited because
Kelly's
that's gonna
another
go.
midwife in our community. Who
Kelly
published a
Jenkins.
children's
It's
book.
amazing. Look her up. But it's an adorable like Christian children's like
Home
About
birth book.
publisher. I am not that.
Oh, the publisher.
My book has foul language and like rough, gritty things in it, so I'm having a hard time figuring out what to do. So anyway, if there's anybody out there who wants to help me with that, shoot an email and let me know. Okay, that's it. Those are my transitions.
What did you want to say?
I just wanted to say it's been like so great to witness you in this, because I feel like what Linden Tree for me symbolizes for you is like getting to diversify your life in a way that's just going to be like so much more sustainable and authentic to like what you want. So like I feel like, because it's really hard, right? Like I worked, like we started Premiere together in a lot of ways, like that's how we both got our start together. And so I know like what we wanted and what we were trying to achieve. And, like, it's so beautiful that Premiere has, like, offered so many services to so many women, right? Like, we have to honor that and acknowledge that.
We
like,
overdid it.
We have, like, you all have served so many women over the years.
Yes, and I love it. It's amazing.
But it hasn't created the space for you to do these other things that, like, you really want to do. And, like, seeing you getting to, like, work with Katie as a preceptor and, like, just in your text messages, like, feeling your joy in that has been, like, so great. And, like, knowing that we're going into a space where you can do more of that and, like, also these other things that you're really excited about. I'm just, like, so grateful that we have this resource for you to be able to, like, I don't know.
Do it. Be together.
Thrive.
All in together. Oh, yeah, and I'm also leaving. I'm also leaving the state for 6 weeks to go catch babies in Florida with my dear friend Katrina. So,
Love you, Katrina.
traveling midwifery.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the things, man.
You've still never met Katrina, have you, Meredith?
Oh, listen, it's going to happen. So, yeah, that's my transition in life. I'm traveling, I'm writing, I'm course teaching, I'm switching, I'm twerking. I'm still married. I mean, 22 years of doing all this with one person and not killing each other. My transition is going well.
Impressive.
It's going well.
And I see our transition really as a transition, because right now, while we're all steeped in the, like, I'm just gonna say it, the fuckery, like, it gets hard. Like, and it's really hard. Everything is, but I really am seeing it as, like, we're all gonna get through these weird transitions, and then we're gonna have, like, this golden era on the other side, and it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I keep, like, one of the things that I put in my class is that it's not, like, we all have this idea of, like, a destination and a goal, and, like, Aerosmith sings, it's the journey. And so, all these transitions are just one transition that we're all in right now, and then we get through it, and then we're like, what's the next transition?
Yeah,
so,
there's
no end to this.
No,
Yeah.
I do feel like I have been enjoying the journey, and I've been enjoying the journey of the past, like, let's say 10 years. Like, we've had the best journey.
Yeah.
But we are going through an incredibly difficult period
Stressful.
of time right now.
Even the good stuff is
and
stressful.
so sometimes it's like, you do have to say, let's just get through one day at a time, and at some point we're not. And so you don't have to enjoy the journey every day.
No.
Sometimes you just have to get through the journey.
Yeah.
No,
and hearing these, like, when we get the emails, like, I always want to quit everything. I just want to, like, throw the book I'm writing. I just want to stop. I just want to, you know, fuck the podcast. But then we get these, like, emails, and they'll say, like, when you said this, it just really helped me through this time of my life. So, like, you guys out there listening, when you're sending your little notes, like, I know to you it's just one email, but to us it's like, okay, we're not the only people
doing this for ourselves.
Right.
And I really want people to see, because I feel like there are a lot of people who use social media, and I feel like sometimes we do that as well, where it's like, oh, look how beautiful everything is, look how much fun our friendship is, look at this and look at that. But we really want people to see that there's, like, a huge reality behind that.
I don't feel like we portray ourselves, like, in the best light in our podcast. I think we stay pretty authentic to,
I'm
like,
going to
what's
ask
happening.
Chuck to take his phone out and videotape me next time I'm having a complete panic.
Or we'll just post your text messages that we have to receive.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do it.
And so, It's like being real so that other people realize it's that, like, other people's lives are not all glitter and rainbows, and our lives are not all glitter and rainbows right now. And there's a lot of bullshit, but we also do have some glitter and rainbows that help us through it.
And we're really good at turning shit into glitter.
Yes.
We're really good at that.
Sometimes it still smells like shit, but it looks pretty.
But it looks
at least it's shiny shit.
You can make really nice pictures with poop.
I think it's just
As
like
Brock showed me several times.
on the wall.
On the wall.
I think just like having people who help you have perspective helps, like giving yourself permission to be really messy and celebratory and all of the craziness.
Yes.
Okay, I say we do a shit sandwich because my transition might be stressful, but it's all super exciting because it's
Good
all my
stuff.
like dreams that I want. So let's go to your shit show.
Okay.
And then from your shit show, we'll sandwich
Yes.
it with the glitter.
Oh. Okay. Sounds good.
What's your big transition?
Well, first we're gonna go to our break.
and
And when we come,
the winner of the lottery is
when
brought to you by Kotex.
when we come back from our delightful break, we'll talk all about my big transition and how
Oh my goodness.
delightful that's been.
So,
Yes.
so delightful.
We'll be back.
Welcome back. Oh. That's what I get for trying to do your job.
I didn't press record yet.
I know.
Ready?
Yep.
Welcome back from that delightful break.
We got places to be, ladies.
I peed, I put on chapstick, and I got a glass of water.
This chapstick
You
is
also put your
really
chapstick
good.
on. Yeah, it's very sticky.
I know, that's why it just like sticks on your lips longer.
I also put on deodorant because of my perimenopause situation.
Good job. That's
Okay, I
it's been a big
cannot
transition for you.
take it anymore.
Okay, well, I already
Tell.
talked a little bit about my transition in one episode, but I am getting divorced.
Woo! I know it's not the appropriate response, but
No,
It's
it is.
so
Every time I tell someone I'm getting divorced,
they're always like,
everybody's
yes.
like, no. People that don't know me and don't know my situation are like, I'm so sorry.
And you're like, no, please don't.
And every time I'm like, please don't apologize.
Well,
It's
because
fine.
you've had years to get to this point where no one had any clue that anything was wrong.
Yeah.
So it's
Really
like
good
a
at
Our
shock.
dear sweet
Because
nine
you're-
Jessica just like tamped it all
Coasted.
down.
Yes.
And you just
Coasted.
needed to take your time to get here, and it's been like such a journey.
So we've had this time. You've had this time. And it was hard.
it's been
still
so hard.
Because we were all like best as friends.
Mhm.
It's so hard. Let me talk about how it's been hard for me.
Talk about it.
So
Jess
go
is like,
on.
tell me more.
So tell us how you've been like.
So I just think, like, a lot of people talk about how divorce is one of the hardest transitions you can go through. And it's interesting for me because I watch other people go through divorce and they all handle it a lot differently than me. Because
Or at least like from the outside, it looks like
from
they
the
do.
outside. And so it's like, at the beginning when I first got separated, it was just kind of like excitement, like, woohoo, so excited! Whatever, I'm fine, everything's cool, drinking beer, having fun, whatever.
But that did go away.
It did in some way, but I also feel like I'm a little different in my divorce in that I was so ready to be divorced.
Yeah.
And so it was like an excitement of like, God, it's finally happening, like, thank goodness.
Yeah.
I
I feel like you had worked through like a lot of the emotions of it already.
Yes.
Like you were at peace with that choice.
Yes, and so I don't feel like I'm mourning my relationship anymore. I don't feel like I'm mourning like the loss of that, but all the nuts and bolts are still so stressful.
Oh my
Now
gosh.
that you like pulled the trigger more, you have to deal with the logistics of it, not
And
just
it's
like
not
the
just
emotional
you,
reality
it's your
of it.
kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
and
your
that's-
house. It's everything that you've built for 15 years, and that is like, oh.
And it's like that monkey bar of like new things that you don't understand. And so like, yes, I was married and you know, it wasn't always the best thing, but there's a security in that. Like you
Oh,
have a
yes.
cheap mortgage and
Yeah.
I could make $5,000 a year, $0 a year, and it's probably gonna be fine.
And then you had allowances, like we could go have a beer together,
Yeah.
and you and I could just talk to whoever we wanted. And now all of a sudden, it's like
Ugh, watching
I can
everyone
talk.
hit on you is
Yes.
so
Well, not
terrible.
only is that happening, but it's like you can't just talk to a man without everybody like, oh, is that your new? Is that your new? Is that? And it's like,
Like,
oh my god.
Salisbury's a very small town, and like
Yes.
we're already seeing it.
Yes.
It's
But
such a
I can
joke.
do the same things, but because of Chuck, and everyone knows him, I'm safe. I'm in the safe zone.
Yes, and I feel like I always was when you're married, even if you're unhappily married. It's like, oh, I'm married.
Yeah, no big deal.
But yeah, it's like once you're not anymore or even close to it, it's like anytime you talk to a person, it's like,
oh yeah,
is that your new boyfriend? Oh, I see you're friends with them. Are you going to be with them? Are they doing this? What's that? What's up with that? Everybody wants to know who the next person is.
Yeah.
Oh, and I told you.
You know, it's none of your damn business.
I had that freak out at the bar because somebody said, oh, I saw Jess talking to so-and-so. And I had just had it. And I'm like, you are such a stupid fucking man. Just because a woman says hi to you doesn't mean she wants to sleep with you. I am so fucking tired of it. And he was like, oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm like, don't be sorry. Just don't be a man.
Can we just put that on like a recording and then just play it every time that situation comes up? Because I don't want to have to say it every time.
It's so
I'd rather
irritating.
just hit a button.
It's been on repeat over and over and over
plus,
again.
you're just like this light. You're just this like...
You just draw people to you insanely often all the time.
It's not just men. It's women. It's everybody.
It's literally everybody.
Everyone wants to be with you and everyone wants to be you.
I don't think that's true at all. But the interesting thing is that I always felt like a light. And then it's like, now that I've gotten closer to it really all being done, and so there's like the logistics of the kids and the house and the paying all the bills on your own and all of this stuff. It's like I go through these periods of time now when it has nothing to do with my relationship. If I was like sad to be being divorced, I don't even know how anyone goes through that. But I'm just like so overwhelmed.
It's terrible.
And then I have this like weird, anxious energy inside of me that has no outlet for anything. And so it's just like, and then you get all worked up about like, am I acting weird? Am I not acting weird? Which is hard for me.
And you're a fun sexual person, and you can't use that outlet right now.
Creates a lot of really uncomfortable situations.
That's the thing is that when I was married, like you could go and like flirtatiously joke around with someone at the bar, and now you can't anymore because now they think that you want to be married to them forever.
Right, which is not the case.
So I was like, go for a walk. Go for a bike ride. Go to the river. You're like, that's not what I need. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say.
With divorce comes celibacy. I'm sorry. At least until the divorce is final.
So fun.
Then do whatever you want.
Hey, we should reach out to some sex toy companies to see if
Yes.
they want to sponsor our podcast because I know I'm sponsoring the hell out of their companies.
What did we say earlier? You're the man. No, I can't remember what we were saying. Not the master of your own domain.
I'm unfucking myself while fucking myself a lot more often.
Yes, you're unfucking the terrible parts of yourself and just fucking the great parts of yourself.
Yes.
Which is really hard to do now that you co-sleep with both your girls because now you're their one constant, like, rock solid person, and now they're clinging to you because...
Thank God for bathtubs. And even
so
then,
now you're co-sleeping with two kids, right?
Yes, and I'm like desperately trying to like keep some kind of normalcy to my house because it's like even if you know that change is going to be better, it's still so scary.
Yeah.
And I'm at that point right now where it's like I'm starting to see a little bit more of like on the outlines where it's like, okay, this is might be how it looks, but you never know
this
until
could be your new normal eventually.
Everything's signed. And so it's really hard to imagine, like, when you're married, you have this idea of what the rest of your life's gonna be like.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a second.
Now what?
There's something completely new, completely different. You have no idea what the rest of your life's gonna look like. And when you're going through a divorce like I am, it's like, really no idea. Other than I'm gonna be doing birth work with you guys.
That is for sure.
Yes.
At least we got that, right?
Yes,
like,
sure.
we got. That's what I was thinking too. Like when you're talking about how you handle it so different. Like, yeah, you. Like, I don't expect people to function really well when they're going through divorce. Honestly, like I expect them to just kind of like fall off the deep end for a while.
But I always feel like I want to function well, so that's hard.
Well, you have to,
I was saying, I feel
right?
like you do, right? Like, and I think like that helps that we have this like foundation to at least like go from amongst the chaos.
And I want to say that I have seen many people, my parents included, go through a divorce, and it's so messy and it's so scary. And you have done this entire process because it's new to the listeners, but to us, we've been watching this for a long time. And your grace through this process used to fucking irritate me so badly.
You're like, just be angry!
I'm like, just scream! Just yell! Just tell the truth!
I mean, yelling hasn't, I mean, it has happened a little bit, but it hasn't
And she's like, no. I'm just going to be the best version of myself, and it will all work out. And you were right. Like, to this day...
The past couple months, I've definitely had times where I'm like, well, that was not the best version of myself.
But moments are one thing, but living that way is something else.
I also feel like most of the time you're just texting us these things, and, like, we're never going to judge you for that. Like, it's not like you're...
Because I'm judging myself.
And no matter, like... And because we're together a lot, and people will say things, like... You know, especially if they're like, you know, anytime you get divorced, it's like... Team Jess, Team Brian, Team whatever, which is so stupid. And we've managed to not do that. And no matter what anyone has said to you, or like the girls will ask you a question, and I'm like, oh, how's she going to handle this?
Yeah, especially when you've handled it with the girls.
And it's just so positive. Like, you've literally never said a negative thing about your soon-to-be ex-husband ever out loud. I mean, to us, we can all like get frustrated, but never to the girls, never to when we're out, never when we're... And I'm just like, how in the fuck? I don't know how you're doing it. But you're literally...
Let's all be honest. At the bar last weekend, I did get a little drunk and walk past someone and say, that guy is literally...
Oh.
And then for the record...
I enjoyed every
I saw that person again at the bar a couple of nights ago, and I apologized for it.
So, that was funny to me because you...
I totally apologized.
You like never let yourself do that.
No, and I wasn't expecting it.
It's such a joy when it happens.
Usually you're just like, oh yeah, because it just so happens that you and your soon-to-be ex-husband are always in the same place. Because we all live in the same place.
Yes.
And the guy was like, said something, and you were like, yeah, he's cool. Not that guy. Not that guy. And I immediately went, and that is enough of that. And we are walking away, and you go, okay. like a child that has had their hands smacked.
But I'm sorry. I feel like those little bursts happen because you kept your shit together fairly well. So you have to have these little outlets.
It's okay. It's okay to be angry sometimes.
And it's like not in front of your kids. Like, it's
But the guy's face was like, oh. Okay.
I also feel
pretty sure he was hitting on me at the bar when I apologized. I was like, I know I met you a few days ago. I'm sorry. I had 3 beers. It was very inappropriate. He goes, you weren't inappropriate.
Okay, real quick.
The bar is your safe place too. So like everyone there like knows what's going on basically. So for you, it's like I'm not doing anything different right now.
Okay, you have exactly 30 seconds to name 3 men that have never hit on you. Chuck and Terrence do not count.
Even though, I don't know, Terrence and her were making eyes at each other the other night, so I don't know.
Who was making eyes at me?
When Terrence was in line for a drink and you were up on the balcony.
He was making eyes at me?
Yeah, you guys were like, it was fun. It was like flirty and cute. Like,
great.
It wasn't, like,
so now you're moving in on our men because you don't have one on your own. That is a clear boundary.
No.
It's the only boundary we have.
I was telling Jess
Not true.
at Terrence's mom's house, there's a picture on her fridge of Terrence and her and Penny because it's like the cutest picture of Penny and Terrence and her and Jess.
And Jess is like, I'm here.
And everyone's like, oh, is that your wife? I'm like, no, that's my wife's best friend.
I want to say for the record, if I wanted a man, I could have one. I just don't want one.
No, you do not.
You could.
You do want one day.
One day.
Yeah, but
I'm not right now.
You gotta hold out for someone that, A of all, has so much money, right? Can we please, that can afford to fly us wherever we want to go.
We are lacking
because
in
we're poor.
So
one of us needs to have some money.
Hey, that's minimalist thinking. We're all gonna be super rich soon.
How?
How? We're thriving right now.
We are thriving in our lower middle class world.
We are 30 to 40 and flirty and thriving.
Oh my god. So somehow you have managed to make this negative transition so positive.
I don't see myself, for the record, I'm not gonna put it out there, I don't see myself as holding out for a man. Like, I see this, that even though it's a hard transition in my life, I got married really young and I was always in relationships, and so I really want to use this time to, even when it's hard, like, figure out who I am and get to that point where I can just be by myself with my own thoughts and be okay with that. And not need somebody else. Because then I feel like that's when magical things happen in your life.
Yes.
Well, we were texting the other morning and we were like reminiscing about like our restaurant days when we would just like rage and party and had no one to take care of except ourselves and our community. And Jess was like, yeah, I never got that. I was like, that's what she's gonna have. It's gonna be amazing.
You need to get
She's
a bartending job.
Have like this fun life where she could just like, I know you have kids still, but they'll be
Skip
older.
the drug phase. You're
Yeah.
too old for that now.
No, we all know I'm not interested.
No,
I
don't
can't
do
even
that
smoke
part.
weed without freaking out. Jeez.
Don't
As you guys have found out.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right, Stone
Remember that
Jess?
time you did on my porch and then immediately vomited all over someone's feet?
Whenever Stone Jess shows up to her, I'm like,
And I
oh,
said,
man, who
This is
invited
why.
her?
Yeah, this is why drugs are bad. This is why you don't do drugs.
For the record, all of that was hearsay and none of that actually happened.
This is just us
Also,
giving her a really
also
hard
it was
time.
20 years ago.
What do you want?
Oh, it's getting to the point now where the kids can't help themselves.
I'll just pause this and this can keep going.
Oh, did you kick him?
You kicked the dog.
Go get your
It
dad.
was humping loose.
Great. Thank you.
That's cute. Hope you guys pick
Can you
up
go
on
get your
that.
dad for that, please?
Yes.
Thanks.
Close the door.
Fucking hate our
Isn't it
dog.
so fun? Okay.
We can cut all that out for the
I did.
podcast thing, but not so much for that.
That's fine. You guys get to see it all. Okay, so we just said the thing about, what was the last thing we just said?
How you're gonna have
Hearsay.
so much fun
Having so
waiting
much
tables,
fun
but you're not gonna do drugs, and then also
Oh, and it all
everything
happened
was
20 years.
hearsay.
All happened 20 years ago.
I have so many stories about that.
So on that note, yes, this is a transition I'm going through. I'm having my ups and downs. I apologize a lot to people I'm around because sometimes I'm a piece of shit and sometimes I'm magical. It's really hard to tell which one you're gonna get.
Even your piece of shit is
I was
magical.
gonna say your piece of shit is really magical, and it's also not as shitty as you think it is.
Aw,
You're more
thanks.
harder on
Good.
yourself than you should be.
And you
Well,
always,
Kim, you-
always put the girls first, no matter what, which means you cannot theoretically be shitty. You just can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
true,
saying?
yeah.
It's not
Your
possible.
decisions
You're
are made
putting,
in love.
you're still putting two other humans ahead of your own needs at 100%
when like
of the
literally you're
time.
just in survival mode right now, where
Right.
you're like it's
Yes.
really hard to think of anything beyond like what
We
is
should
happening in your
do
day-to-day
a
life.
whole podcast about survival mode because it's a real thing.
I live
You-
in it, hence my anxiety.
You did say a thing to me the other day, Kim, at the brewery, because on Saturday, when we went to the brewery, I was not planning on going out. I was having one of those days where I was like not feeling my best
You
self.
knew that you were gonna start shit if you
No,
went out.
it was like Friday night, I had felt like I had started shit and I was feeling a little bit guilty about it, and then I was like, I'm not going out tonight. I'm not having a beer tonight because then I'm gonna act like an idiot and blah blah blah. But of course you guys always bring out the best in me.
And
so
we also make you go out with us all the time.
and so we ended up going out, we ended up dancing, we ended up having the best time.
Dancing
and it
fixes
actually
everything.
made me feel so much better. But while we were there, Kim said something to me that was like, I've just always been so used to you being the most joyful person in this group, and it's been really hard trying to take up the slack for your joy.
I just can't pull it off. It's so stressful.
But you can. You pull it off all the time.
Listen, no
You
one.
walk into
especially
a
when
room.
we're dancing.
You walk into a room and people are like, look at her smile.
Yeah.
Her teeth are just glistening.
I thought you say tits.
Listen, I'm so tired of hearing about my giant teeth. It's been happening my whole life.
So
They're
happy.
beautiful.
My anxiety that I live in a cesspool that I am actually getting better recently.
I guess we should go to Key West and test it then.
But listen, I would love to do that. But I never used to be like this. It wasn't until my I guess our marriage, like we went through that hard time, but then our marriage mattered, and now I have all these kids that matter, and then I have all these responsibilities. So before, I didn't give a shit. But
Yeah.
now that I care, I'm like, don't fail.
I've got to hold it all together.
I gotta
for
hold it all
everybody.
together. Okay.
Yes. And I guess that's how it is for divorce too.
Yes.
Yeah.
You just want to like go off the deep end and freak out and wallow in
You
your
gotta
own
hold it
filth.
together.
Which if I did not have kids and a job and all this,
Absolutely
I
you
literally
would.
have run off to a tropical. Like,
Yes.
I probably would have ran off to Key West and gotten a bartending job at a topless bar and just
And
been
we would just
serving
be
people
visiting
shots of
you all the
tequila off of
time.
my
Do
nipples.
you? Oh, I would still do that if you served alcohol off the
Yeah,
nipples.
that's what I would be
I
doing
would
right
do
now
it.
if I did not have kids and other
Yes.
responsibilities.
Do you remember that time years
I'm
ago?
so sorry, you would be so happy.
You would be so. I think you would want more after
A period
some
of time.
Yeah. That you had like this horrible morning or something. I don't know what happened, if you had a hangover or what, but I showed up at your house with McDonald's and climbed into your bed. Do you remember that?
You got in your bed.
I did.
That feels
She
so
did.
weird
I
to
climbed
me.
right
She
in with
got
her.
into my bed.
Listen, I do it when it counts.
That's
You
Yeah.
know, when it counts. It just doesn't usually matter.
Yeah.
All right, what
That's
else do
so
you want to say
glorious.
about your...
So yeah, well, I just want to say that I know there's a lot of other people going through divorce and similar things, and like, I know not everybody has the glorious village I do, so if you need to reach out and you need to bitch about your ex and you need to have like some kind of outlet, like that is one of the things you can call us and talk to us about or email us and talk to us about, and we will totally...
We will send you a divorce
Yeah.
coloring book because it makes all the
Yes.
difference.
Or just a lot of gifts.
Kim got me a divorced person's adult coloring book.
It's so good.
And it's just like, it's the best. It's like,
So
I'm better off
good.
without you. Like, you
Don't-
fat anyway.
You're a twat.
Yes.
Max called Evie a twat yesterday.
Twat.
Did you even say it right?
No, a twat. That's a new thing.
Oh, what's
It's
it?
because you don't get in trouble for saying twat, so you just say twat.
But
It didn't work. He got in
yeah.
trouble.
I feel like we could do a whole episode about divorce just because, I mean, the birth work is not the
Yeah.
reason why I'm getting divorced. But the
The
divorce
rates are
rate
so
amongst
high.
birth workers is
It's
so
very
high.
high, yeah.
So for any birth workers out there who want to share your experience of that, like, reach out. But I feel like we need to go in on the happy, you know, it's like that.
Okay, sandwich
like
time.
Happy shit, happy,
Sandwich time.
happy shit, happy. So excited. Ah, Meredith.
Let me check our time here. Oh my god, it's 2:28.
Yeah, go.
Meredith.
All right, we're gonna do it real quick. Super simple and easy. I'm pregnant.
Look.
I think it's like coming all over our listeners.
I'm spraying champagne. What?
So if anybody who watched our YouTube video a week ago or 2 weeks ago, at one point in time, Meredith went to take a sip of wine,
And I said
Which
no.
I had very much earned that sip of
Yes,
wine.
you did.
Thank you very much.
and Kim went to like steal it out of her hands.
And then I was shooting your lasers. I was like, fuck, she just gave it away. I'm giving it away right now. I
It's
shouldn't have made
fine.
this a big deal.
Look at her. Ah!
There's a baby in there.
pregnant.
She's
I'm
still smaller
pregnant.
than most of us, but it's fine.
I think it's mostly because they're already in my vagina.
So tell us how far along you are. When are you due? What information do you want to give?
I think
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Like, I know my
20
clients
something.
are... I think I'm
26
I
weeks.
think I'm 27 tomorrow.
Let me look. It's on my app.
Midwife Kim.
So
How
we've
far
been
along am I?
keeping this a secret from you guys for a long time.
They're
For a long
like really
time.
nervous because we don't do social media, so we haven't made like a big announcement. So like this is like our announcement.
You'll be
so,
27 weeks the day this episode comes out.
Okay.
Aw.
27
So, yeah.
weeks.
Which is so crazy to think about because I feel like the day I told you guys doesn't feel like it was that long ago.
Can we share that video now?
Yeah. Also, what's not captured in the video is I immediately went and vomited by the river afterwards, and Chad walked over and saw me, and I panicked because I was like, oh my god, he's gonna think I'm wasted, and then I'm just like puking by the river. Like, I don't want to worry about me tonight. Like,
You panic told several people.
For the
I did do
record,
that.
like if Chad thought you were wasted, he would not have cared at all.
I know.
Chad is Chuck's
I was
BFF.
in a full panic though. I was not intending to have anybody. First, it was the first time I'd ever thrown up pregnant. Second, I was not intending to tell anybody besides you guys. And here I am puking by the river.
I'm pregnant.
So
I'm pregnant.
she did a really cool thing where she was like, guys, we really need to make a Patreon video for our podcast. Come on, let's just do it real quick because we were hanging out. And then she told us in the video.
Oh, it's so
And we
good.
were like,
My favorite part is that Jess just keeps looking at the camera.
We had no. How did we have no
looking,
idea?
like looking at the camera. It's
It
gonna
took
tell
so-
her that it's true.
it took so long. for it
She's
to,
like looking
sink
at the
in.
camera, like, am I
So
being
was like,
punked?
Are we still doing the video?
Yeah, it
or
looked like
is
we're on a
it
pump video where she's
stopping?
like, where's the camera?
What's happening?
I don't think I've been this excited about any pregnancy,
I
including
don't
my
think
own.
you've ever been this excited about a pregnancy. You have been so great and so obnoxious.
Yeah.
I
at the
love
same
her
time.
already.
I've
You've
been
been-
so excited
You've
about
also.
it.
I was
but
like nervous that you were gonna start crying when I told you.
I don't cry
So
usually.
That's silly.
Every
I
once
was
in a
even
while.
know who she is.
I was scared that you were gonna be really upset that I was fucking up our whole
Oh,
lives by bringing a
upset.
child into
The
it.
only
we did
reason-
talk
No,
about that.
I was really worried that you're like, right, god damn it, Meredith, like, why? Because it's not to my face, but to Kim behind my back. Be like, she's fucking up everything. We finally getting rid of kids, and now she's breaking up another one.
The only reason I've been upset is because I've been going through my own personal transition, and so it's been really hard on me because it's like, could you just please come out and get drunk with me? And now you can't!
I know. I keep
But I
trying,
can.
but she won't let me.
But I can't. No! We do not condone alcohol consumption during pregnancy.
I know. I'm able to have fun and dance sober, just like any other fool. It's fine.
It's been so
It's been really
wonderful,
good.
and we're so excited. And we
I
have
can enjoy a pregnancy for the first time in my entire life.
Kim is going around and telling strangers that this is her soul baby.
It is
and
my
people
soul
are like,
baby.
what the fuck does that mean?
Can we share the baby's name now?
I don't think so, because we haven't told our families yet.
The one I made up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, you could do that.
Yeah,
Meredith.
it's the nickname
Yeah.
for the baby.
I named the
inside
baby.
her
You
belly.
did.
It's not-
Sorry, let me clarify.
it's
Kim
not the
did
real
name
baby's
the
name.
baby.
This might be the problem that she's talking about. Did you see the hurt look on my face? What do you mean you don't
You
know?
mean this experience
What do
isn't
you
about
mean?
me? It's about you and your baby?
Remember when we said that we were going to have a whole maternity shoot? We were going to make her wear flowy dresses.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just going to
She-
be the two of us, like, rubbing her belly. And she's like, this is not about you guys. And we're like,
We're like, but what if we just book it and buy the dresses? And like, you guys are like, no, you can wear whatever you want. We're wearing the flowy
Did
dresses.
you ever think that your pregnancy would ever have to be a, guys,
threesome?
this is not about you,
Foursome.
and I need you to step up.
Sarah, I'm sorry.
Who's Terrence? Who is this person that you keep talking about? Who is this?
Like, I told him about the photo shoot. He was like, all right, like, whatever.
Exactly, because he's
Penny and I
me.
could just linger in the background and wait our turn, I guess.
No, you guys can have your own real photo shoot.
We just have to have a separate one just for you guys.
This would be a
so.
totally just a publicity stunt.
Now I'm not doing
Oh,
it.
man.
I'm not going to
no,
do it.
now we have to do it because it's going to be hilarious.
Yes!
Got
So
what I want. You
excited!
got what we want.
Mhm.
I'm calling this baby Lilu.
Yeah.
And
Isn't that
so
sweet?
whatever name Terrence and Meredith come up with doesn't really matter
Yes.
to me.
I
so
do think
much.
this kid might be Lulu for the rest of their lives. So.
Oh, guaranteed.
But we have to talk a little bit about how, because, well, a lot of our listeners are pregnant people, and so it's such a huge transition, and
It
it's
is.
not all joy.
It is
even
not
though
all
it's so
joy.
joyful.
No,
So
I
yeah,
feel
how's it going with you?
it's going really good, actually. I feel like I'm one of the lucky ones.
You didn't feel that way when you were dry heaving for
I did
10
not do.
weeks.
So I think at the foundation, I actually am one of the people who enjoy pregnancy, at least up to this point, because I like having a buddy. Like, I really enjoy having somebody all the time. I enjoy companionship, so I just like have a buddy all the time.
Just
Oh
talk,
my
and just
God.
talk to Lulu in your belly.
Yeah, just
like,
like to Lulu all the time.
Cutest thing I've ever heard.
Or like I have some like account.
kid's gonna cry.
I can't even take it.
Or like, I don't know, I feel like I have some accountability. Like if I'm driving to a birth and I'm like feeling a little stressed or whatever, I'm like, sorry kid, like we're in this together, we got this. Like, gotta calm my tits for
I
a
did
minute.
get a little misty.
Oh my
listening
god,
to you
you're
talk.
a hot mess.
I just am so happy.
So I think like as a foundation, like I think I'm really gonna enjoy pregnancy, the rest of it as well, because I really enjoy having a buddy, and it's also like really reinforced how amazing our community is. Like your kids are as obsessive about
Oh
this kid
my
as you
gosh.
are. Like I don't even think they look me in the face anymore. I think they just go straight for the belly every time I walk
Yes.
into the room.
You're
Yes.
but a vessel.
Yeah.
Yes, which has been really sweet, and Penny has been like such a joy to witness in this whole journey. She's been amazing, like so supportive.
The story you told, I know we probably don't have time for it, but the story you told about her just like...
Oh yeah, finally like releasing the reality that like a baby is coming and things are gonna change. It was like so
Yes.
magical. But yeah, I mean it also sucks sometimes. Like this whole time we've been talking, I don't know what's going on with my gallbladder or something up
Oh
here.
yes. Her
But it
gallbladder.
hurts all the time. But that's like feels pretty
And no
minimal.
one can figure it out.
I think that's the thing. It's like been like I have really chill symptoms, but the ones I have I don't understand, which as a birth worker is like really hard for me.
But it's normal for you. I
Yeah.
feel like this is exactly what I was expecting. Do you remember that time that I was talking to you in the kitchen and you were like, blah, blah, blah.
Oh yeah. I did dry heave a lot.
Okay, go ahead. And I was
It's
like,
because
what was that?
like early on, if I got excited and exuberant, it verbalized really quickly and a lot. Which
Anytime you got excited, you would dry heave. It's like one of those stupid lap dogs. They're like, I have to wipe my nose now because I got so emotional.
So yeah, no, it's going. I feel really lucky. I think things are going really well, and it makes me feel like I feel like I've been like as a birth worker. I feel like I'm really proud of the fact that I got to do birth work before having a baby, because it taught me how to just like hold space and meet people where they're at. But I do feel like I have a lot more appreciation, especially for moms who are having really difficult pregnancies, because it's already hard enough without all that extra stuff going on. And it's really hard not to be like, well, I have this going on.
Yeah.
That sounds like what you have going on, so let's like talk about that. Like, it's really hard to like check myself.
That you can, you know, like empathize with people and tell your story without making it
Right.
all about
Right.
you.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do that.
I tend to be an overshare, and it's not coming from a place of like wanting to talk about myself all the time. It's more like I feel like the more vulnerable I am with people, the more they can feel like they can be vulnerable, and so I think sometimes it gets a little blurry.
No, it's okay. I'm so excited. This is gonna be the best. This is gonna be the best birth and the best postpartum.
And so a lot of people
best
have
baby
asked
ever.
us, like, so is she planning a home birth? Is she birthing
Yeah.
with you
Oh,
guys?
I get. Are you her midwife all
Yeah.
the time?
Dream team plus Alice is gonna come live with us for a bit, so
And
it's gonna be magical.
All of our children have asked to come to her birth, and immediately I was like,
That's a terrible
no,
idea.
and she's actually like thinking about
Yeah.
it.
If there's like a way to get them there at the very end, if things are going smoothly and I feel like it's manageable, I'd love for them to be there if they want to be there.
Wow, she's a saint.
Yeah.
But just like
I
at the
know.
very end.
As you're crowning,
saint among women.
Yeah.
they can
just-
all run in.
literally
They can explode to the door
Yes.
together at that last moment.
Yes. Like, I know logistically that's a fucking nightmare. It's probably
Or-
not going to
Can we
happen, but I
can
am
we tell
open
them-
to that possibility.
Can we tell them your due date?
Yeah.
Her due date's one of my favorite things in the world. Well, actually not. It's just
for me and for
because
Terrence.
it's her due date, and I just find it so amusing.
Perfect for Terrence. Go. What is it?
It's 420.
Yeah, man.
Which one of the best things about this whole experience has been, we've been trying for like 4 months before I got pregnant, and we kind of given up on this month. Like, we did not think conception was going to happen because there was so much stuff going on. I don't remember having sex like when I was ovulating, so I don't really know how it happened, but it did.
He knows it's not nice to do that while you're sleeping, right?
We are not there yet in our relationship,
might
and when
be-
we do get there, we're gonna have a serious conversation.
I hear
about
that's
it.
divorceable.
I heard that leads to divorce. So, anyways, so we had the hootenanny, and so I drank a large part of a bottle of whiskey that day.
For the
Yes.
record, I sat outside their tent at one point while they did at the
They
hootenanny,
did.
so I
She
like
did
to
do
think
that.
that I might have been there.
Oh, you heard the conception.
No,
I don't know
conception
if it
happened
was
before
the
that.
conception.
Oh,
Conception
okay.
happened before that.
They were just like, I needed a minute to myself, so I like walked up the hill and like I like heard like well, I can't say I heard silence from the tent. I heard them, and then I was like, "Are you guys in here?"
I
But
think
then
I
they
was
were
riding
like,
him so that I had to make eye
Then
contact.
they were like, oddly
As this was
silent,
happening.
and she looks through the screen on her tent, and I couldn't see anything because it's only down like an inch. I just see her eyes, and she
Have we
goes,
not told you this yet?
I could only see her eyes through the screen, and she goes, "We're doing it right now."
And Terrence is just laying there. He's like, "This feels really oddly."
And I was
normal
like,
to
Did he
me."
go? Was it like New Girl? Was he like, so since you're out there, do you want to just come in?
No, and I was like,
He just laid there waiting for us to finish our conversation.
I was like, well, that's really cool, and I support that, but I really need a minute to myself, so I'm gonna be sitting behind my tent for the next 4 to 5 minutes.
And
So
I was
you
like,
can continue,
perfect.
not
That's all we
continue.
need.
I don't really care. I'll pretend like I can't hear you.
This is my favorite story.
Oh
Were you
man.
like, so are you still at? Hey.
Well, then I heard like some air mattress shuffling, like, and then there was like a laugh. Like, from
You should have been
Meredith.
like, get it, Terrence. Woo woo.
I'm pretty sure you did address him at one point.
Hey, Terrence, what's going on in there?
Doing good, buddy. 10-4. Buddy.
Over and out.
I think afterwards I was like, wow, you ejaculate so quietly.
Well,
I
I
did
wouldn't
not
say that
say-
normally as it
I did
happens, but
not
it seemed
say
like
that.
in the context of the situation, it probably occurred more quietly than it normally would have.
I did not say
So,
anything about it.
Yeah.
Guys,
So, that was not conception.
we have a space
I
we
know,
have
we
to
have
go
to
look at.
go.
I feel like we just cut the most exciting story short.
That's
We
okay.
did, but we can talk
That's
about
okay.
it more in
Honestly,
other
just saying it
episodes.
is enough for me. I don't really need to process it. Just telling people is enough because we haven't
Yes.
told any.
So we've been going through all of that at the same time. It's
just
kind
still
of
happening.
It's kind of been a hot mess.
Yeah,
But we're
it's
handling
been a
it
real
because
hot mess.
we have each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our text threads have been insane.
Yes.
Like all three just bouncing around on these different things and
Yeah.
like somehow finding
Yep.
ways to communicate with each other despite all of those
Yes.
needs.
Can we blame all of this as to why we don't post and why
Yes.
we don't?
I think that's
And
totally
we can
fine.
also say that while we are still very heavily in the midst of our transitions, we have kept to our New Year's resolution to record every week, to videotape, to do closed captioning.
Kim had to
Yeah.
go get Jess from her house because Jess doesn't snow plow apparently.
Which
Because
further-
apparently,
had
did
to
you
be
know?
rescued from her own home.
Did you know that when you get divorced, that man suddenly doesn't shovel your snow?
Which I could have done it, but it's a good thing I didn't because I would never have made it down your road or up your driveway.
That's
Right. So I rescued you.
Yes.
Oh my God, you're getting divorced. You're having a baby. I'm doing things.
You're becoming like your like supreme power being in
Yes.
your professional life.
You're writing books
I'm
and
like
teaching
Omnicron.
courses and moving to a different practice.
Yeah.
Impacting everybody, but it's not as heavily.
Exactly. Yes.
So basically the whole purpose of this episode was that transitions are hard, but transitions are good.
Yeah.
Yes.
And usually they're short-lived, and
Yeah.
then you get to the fun part on the other end, and soon we're going to have the birth high, literally, proverbially.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make a stink face. I just know
Metaphorically.
also what comes
Metaphorically.
after the birth high too. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I did too many drugs as a teenager, so I don't actually get a birth high. I ruined that part of my brain.
That's so sad. That
just so you all
explains
know,
a lot of your birth. Another reason not to do drugs.
don't do drugs ever. Okay, what else
All
do
right.
we have to say?
So for all you people out there who are going through transitions, anyone who wants to share about your transitions,
Yeah. You just
Write
listened to
them
ours,
in.
so feel free to share about yours.
and then please give us grace when things fall through the cracks, because at least for the next 3 to 4 months we're going
We
to
are
continue
making moves.
to be a hot mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I will do that forever. So
Yes.
Which is why we really need this episode, mostly just to like give you guys a heads up and let you give us permission that we're gonna be fucking wreck for a while. That's it.
forever.
No.
And the only other thing we have to say is
Cheers!
Cheers!
Clink, clink, clink,
Clink.
clink, 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 clink.
On my
Alright.
whiskey bottle. 'cause I don't
Tea
have
and
one.
chat.